Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Janani and today I'm going to show you guys a marble technique. This is a little bit different than what I have in my channel. If you haven't checked those out, make sure you do. So for this technique, I'll mainly be using Sunny Translucent, some white clay, and I found these green, blue, and yellow shades in my scrap bin, so I'll be using those. So here I'm taking about half of the ceramic clay block. I'm not very specific with the measurements, but you'll see I'll be adding more translucent than the colored clay. To keep it consistent, I ran my white clay and rest of the colored clay through the pasta machine on the medium setting. Then I'm using these circle cutters. This way I'm able to make sure that I have a good ratio between the colored clay and the translucent clay. Here I have all the mixed clay and I did run them through the pasta machine on the medium setting. I also added a sheet of translucent clay to this mix. This technique is actually super similar to the Mokume Gane technique, so I'm going to be conditioning a piece of translucent clay to use as the base. And here is my translucent base, but I wanted to make it much more fun, so I wanted to add some gold veins that ran through this base. So what I did was I cut the cube into a few pieces randomly. Keeping the cube shape, I added some gold leaf on the edge that was cut through. Like always, I'll leave all the tools and supplies I use frequently and on this tutorial down at the description box. Make sure you check it out. Since I used gold leaf, I'm using some liquid clay to attach the pieces back together. Next, I push all the clay firmly, making sure it is bonded well together. I tried my best not to misshapen the cube shape. And now to the fun part. So to get started, I ripped up small pieces of the clay that I mixed earlier and started placing them on my base. I chose, for the starters, I chose the mint color and the light blue color. Next, I'm using my blade to cut it into the clay randomly, like just slice into the clay, making sure that I don't cut it all the way. It's best if you can use the back of the blade. I know at first I used the front of the blade, but I figured that using the back of the blade is better, and even a metal ruler for thick cuts. So once I'm done with my cuts, I am going to squish the clay back together into the cube shape again as much as I could. Then I'm going to be putting a layer of translucent and repeating the steps of slicing into the clay again. I'm going to be repeating this technique, alternating between the colored clay and the translucent clay. So once I'm done, I flatten the piece into a workable size. Then using a clean, sharp blade, I started slicing, like shaving pieces from the top of this piece. It is so satisfying and kind of looks like when you're shaving cheese. This kind of looks like moldy cheese, don't you think? I mean, you can see how beautiful the veins are that this technique created. You can even see some gold leaf here and there. I may be adding in a little bit more gold leaf later on because I don't feel like it's enough, but you can see there's like little veins going on and the colors are nice and saturated everywhere. And these shavings don't have to be even because we'll be putting these on a sheet of translucent clay later on. Here I have a piece of translucent clay that I ran through the pasta machine on the thickest setting. I'm going to randomly start laying the shaved clay on this sheet. So like I mentioned earlier, I felt like there was not enough gold leaf on this slab. So I started laying small pieces of gold leaf on the slab and then I flattened it out and ran it through the pasta machine on the second thickest setting again. This technique actually reminds me of like those watercolor fabrics, like silk fabrics that flow really nicely. The weights on these marbling is as not pronounced as the other techniques are, but I think it is a great technique to have in hand to create natural stones or watercolor slabs. So after I cut the components out, I cured them in the oven for about an hour in 275 Fahrenheit. I also use a aluminum top so I can prevent it from burning since I use translucent clay. And here are the components after I cured them, and I'm trying to show you guys how the light shines through them. They are very gorgeous in person. You can see how the veins are and the gold leaf all tied together so nicely. They are super gorgeous in person. And to finish up, of course, I sanded them, added some UV resin, and added my jewelry findings. And I'll show you guys how it looks here. It's coming in a bit. There they are. This is how they look. I'm so obsessed with this technique. It is so versatile, and I thank you guys for sticking with me until the end of this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please comment, share, like, let me know what you like to see in the future, and thank you so much again. I'll see you in the next one.